Happy Coffee Talk Monday. Dr. Michelle coming your way. Happy Monday. Do you know what resilience is? I'd say with a lot of the coping skills / mental skills that I work with clients on, a lot of times the most important missing piece is understanding what some of these things mean. I think that, resilience is, for most of us, probably not too difficult of a concept, like resilience, bouncing back from things, right? Probably not too challenging. Other concepts like confidence, clients less sure really what that means, but use that term a lot. So one of the biggest, most helpful things for clients is to help them define and think about what these things mean. And then we can move forward in developing the right, most optimal mental skills for them. Makes sense, right? I think it's funny how we throw words and terminology around a lot, but we don't really know what it means. So resilience, sort of one of those, right? I think people can define it a little bit more than confidence, but still don't quite think about the concept. How do I bounce back from things that are happening? Yeah, that's really what resilience is. It's just the bounce back. And the first step in being resilient is awareness. I'm going to say it. Mindfulness, right? Being present enough to recognize what is happening, that it's really happening, so that you're able to readjust, right? You're able to bounce back. Because if you're not aware that something's happening, how are you going to come back from that? That sounds pretty difficult, right? Yeah. So awareness, mindfulness, presence is the first critical step in being able to bounce back. And then it's practicing what to bounce back to. Right? For most people, it's bouncing back to what they're doing, which can include physical or mental skills. So if you're in a negative thought pattern, recognizing that, and resilience is bringing yourself out of that, right? Like if something negative just happened, or a mistake just happened, or a loss, or whatever it is, having the ability to be able to bounce back from that, and most times keep moving forward. Those are really, really, really critical skills. And so here's the other problems associated with this term and so many of the other things that I talk with clients about. The first is that moment awareness where you can act and respond to what's happening. That's the first. The second is, again, understanding the principle. What does this mean? Oh, okay, that's what that means. And the third is knowing what, again, to bounce back to. So I'm in this state, I'm in this situation. Okay, I'm recognizing this. I don't want to be here right now. Where do I want to be? And again, that is something that we just don't really think about. We a lot of times think these things automatically happen, and guess what? They don't. Well, they do, but generally not in our favor. So you have to think about this. I'm in this space. I want to be in this space. Where do I need or want to be? Those are all like critical, but really hard things to figure out, come up with, develop. And then you feel like you don't have control over what's happening, right? So again, if you're performing and you make a mistake and you get in your head about that, you're beating yourself up, negative doubts, fears. Okay, how do I bring myself back? And what do I bring myself back to? Yeah, it's not a simple process because we are so used to the same lineage or linkage of things just happening and not feeling like we have any control over it. Now we're talking about making the brain your ally, having some control, and figuring out, okay, what does this need to look like? And, again, the funny thing is like this happens in work. This happens a lot of times in whatever your performance is, work, music, sports, chess. You have that thinking through things, right? That process for things. Well, what would make you think that you don't have to do that mentally? You do. So, resilience. How do I bounce back from what is currently happening? Because again, like the situation, what is currently happening, many times is just happening, right? And there's no like conscious thought about it or control or process for it. If you haven't heard, there's a big surprise coming up at the end of the month. Big surprise. I have a mini course coming out called Beating the Fear. If you're interested in more information, go to beatingthefear.com. I'd love to have you join me for this. I'm really excited about this. And the excitement is building everywhere with people. So get yourself on the mailing list, check out the course. And if you have questions about resilience, reach out and let me know. This is Dr. Michelle. I'll see you next week. Have a good week.